Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Scrolling Around. This week is a little different, but we still have lots in store for you all, starting with track interviews, then we head over to Banbury for a story, and ending with Kingsbury. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. All right, so diving into our first story for this episode, we are going to head over to Oxford High School on their track to get their 57th annual Elmer Ball Oxford Invitational. Take a look. All right, so we are here for the high school's practice before their
57th Elmer Ball Invitational.
Right. I have to have a student here with me because I can't remember that name. But we are about to talk to some students and check out their practice right before the big meet. All right, so Marcus, tell us what is happening on Saturday.
Saturday is the Elmer Ball Invitational meet. And it's a big meet where it's practically like a state meet. We have so many teams coming. I want to say it's like 30 schools or so coming and compete, and it's a high competition. You know, you got to work hard to win.
Now, what's the difference between this competition and normal competitions?
I think the difference is more or less the competition. Not every school we will go against individually will have a lot of competition, and this meet everybody has competition, so you have to work your hardest and bust your butt.
Is there any rival schools like Lake Orion that you know are going to be at this competition, or is it a big surprise?
No, actually, there's rival schools like Lake Orion and Clarkson. You don't like them too much when you're from Oxford.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are definitely going to be there. There's also schools like a couple hours away. So it's we even have one school that comes to Chicago that we hear about every year. So.
Now, is this the first time? I heard the 48th anniversary or something like that. Is this the first one that's being hosted here at Oxford?
No, the Elmer Ball meet is actually here every year. Yes, so we had it last year and the year before that. So every year it's here.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to cry with the wind blowing in my face here. But is this normally the condition that you guys train in, so you're equipped for any weather, right?
Yes. In the beginning we start more or less inside because it is too cold out really to run because you don't want to hurt nothing. But as when it's 40, 50 degrees out, we're out here running because you got to be conditioned in whatever weather it is.
Rain or shine.
Yes, rain or shine, we're always out here.
So if it were to rain on the big Elmer, it's not a ball, the Elmer competition, yes, you guys would still be out here kicking butt, basically, right?
Yes, we will be. It's no matter if it's wet or dry, we got to run because we gotta work hard.
Well, thank you for explaining to us what it is first. Now we're going to speak to some of your teammates and find out a little bit more about each category.
All righty, thank you. Appreciate it. Take care now.
I am here with some ladies, one from the field portion and then some sprinters. What is the best part about being on the field portion of things?
I don't have to run that much.
Okay, so you don't like running?
No, I don't like running. I'm a thrower, so it's and I got a lot of throwers that I love, and we connect well, and we just have fun and throw.
And then what was the big deciding factor of you two being sprinters instead of maybe being in the field portion?
Probably I'm not strong enough to do any throwing. I really thought about throwing, but I wanted to take a break from cheer and lifting and do some running instead, so I decided to do sprinting.
And you have to be pretty fast to sprint. So what is it tryouts for this, or do you automatically get accepted into it?
Everyone's accepted. It just depends on how great you are, and it's kind of building up. So freshman year, you kind of just start, and however well you do, they just build on you, and yeah.
What about for the field portion?
It's you just go up there, you try. If you throw a certain amount of feet, then you're considered a far thrower. But it's just all about practicing and lifting and getting stronger and building muscles and stuff.
And then how do you prepare for a big competition like Saturday?
Practice a lot during the week and listening to your coaches to what you're going to be doing in the meet.
So I am here with both of the coaches. Guys, what is the big significance about Saturday?
Well, the Elmer Ball, which we actually know is the Oxford Invitational, this is our 57th running of it, and it's one of the most prestigious invites in the state, actually. The competition as we roll into season is almost as good as what you see at the state finals, so it's a really good preview meet for kids to see tough competition. So that's really the significance of it.
And speaking of competition, how many schools are involved in this meet?
Currently, what we have registered is 21 teams. Some teams have just boys teams like Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And I don't think there's any girls single teams like Marion or anything. So 21 teams, a lot of athletes. So if you figure every team, like our team, we have 160 kids. Am I right, Coach? You figure like Lake Orion has about the same. Clarkston High School will be here. You know, a lot of big schools, a lot of tradition. And like Coach Johnson said, a lot of great times.
What are we most looking forward to for this meet?
Sunshine and warm weather.
Let's hope so. Nothing like today.
We're actually just looking for the meet to be well run on our end so the kids can really understand and see a regional format meet so they know what to expect going into the end of our season. So this is just a preview.
And that's the reason the Elmer Ball, the big old long title I can't see, that's the reason why it started in the first place?
Well, no, it just started for a normal regional format track meet. Coach Ball was a coach here for over 30 years. So several years ago, we gave him the honor after while he was still alive, actually, and named the meet after him. And then it's just got to be known as one of those big meets in the area.
And I heard that it's selective in the students that get to participate in it. How do you guys choose those students?
Very easily. If you're on the track, time don't lie. You know, for Oxford, though, since we're the host venue as track coaches, we also try to allow our seniors to compete. That's something, you know, if their times are close. In terms of the field events, it's the same thing. We have event standards. You get 2 entries per, but it is very much like that regional style, as Coach Johnson said, is, you know, there's not many meets where it's time standards or, you know, field event standards. And that's something kids have to learn. When you're 14, you don't always get to compete against the varsity level, and that's unique with track. You know, a lot of programs, you know, we have baseball going today and we have JV baseball. Track, we don't have JV programs. We have varsity programs. So we set those standards so kids kind of achieve for something. They have an expectation for the season.
And going into Saturday, we're only a few days away now. What are you expecting from the turnout?
What are we expecting? We have a lot of expectation on us as the hosts to really run one of the best meets around. So the expectation on us is really not so much on our athletic performance, but on just being the best host we can be at one of the finest meets that we can run. As Coach McDonald mentioned, we do give a lot of our seniors preference to run in this prestigious meet at home. Many of them, that's their last competition here. So for us, it's not so much about where we finish in the meet. It's about how well we finish the meet as a whole. So.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing the entire thing come together on Saturday and to film that as well. I am going to finally go put on my coat and get out this coat.
Thank you for
Thanks,
your time.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. Today we are at the Oxford Track for their 57th annual Elmer Ball Oxford Invitational. It's a long name, but we're going to jump right into it and see some of these students run. What is the most difficult part about running for such a long time?
It's definitely the mental state that you're in, because sometimes you'll find that you lose sight of the competition just because you're getting kind of bored. So the important thing is to just like stay focused and actually keep yourself mentally in it, because physically it's not as demanding.
About how long do you think it typically takes for someone to run a distance?
It depends on what they're doing. For a mile and 2 mile, it's pretty different. So, like, around a general time would be a 6 minute for a mile, and
that's when you get bored.
Yeah, that's kind of boring. And then the 2 mile, which is 8 laps, is pretty boring.
Now, what do you do to prepare yourself for any competition, but specifically for Saturday?
So typically, a lot of the time we have to get good sleep the night before, because the Saturday meets we end up waking up really early. This Saturday we'll probably wake up at like 7 a.m. So it's important to get sleep. And then for those meets, since it's all day long, a lot of the time if it's going to be sunny, we'll have to bring like sunscreen. But if it's going to be cold, you got to bring sweats. You kind of have to just prepare for anything.
And if it's raining, do you guys still run?
Yes, the only conditions in which we cancel are thunderstorms because the lightning's obviously not safe.
And it's freezing out here right now. I probably look like an idiot on camera because I'm in a dress with no coat and you guys are in pants. But this is normal practice weather, would you say?
Yeah, sometimes we have even colder, more windy days. Sometimes it's really hot. Like yesterday, we were all in shorts and tank tops, and today we're in sweats. So it's really all over the place.
Michigan, you love it, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, now have you guys done the Saturday competition before? This is an every year thing.
Yeah, this will be my 3rd year competing in it. I think I've run the same thing every year, so that's kind of funny.
What about you?
I have been present for most of it. Last year I was injured, so I worked on the block crew, but the year before that I ran in it. I ran distance, and this year I'm not sure yet what I'm going to be doing.
What are you most looking forward to about the competition this year, especially because you guys already, well, you've been here to see it and you've ran in it a few times.
I don't know. It's fun to see the friendly faces because after a while you get to know the people you're running against, and it's really funny to just be like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?"
As you pass them.
They pass me, but sure.
Either way. What about you?
I'd say honestly just being able to like see so many people, because a lot of the time we'll run dual meets and it's just against one team, so a lot of the races end up being like kind of empty. But at the Oxford Invite there's just tons and tons of athletes, so it kind of gives you more competition.
Awesome. What are you guys most excited for Saturday?
I'm just most excited to see all the friends that I've made throughout the years from all the different schools. Usually we only get to see them once a year, but with this invite we get to see all of them together, and there's a lot of people I've known since like freshman year, and I'm just excited to see them and see how they've improved over the years.
I'm definitely excited for the competition. It's a fun chance to run against new people. So.
And do you typically see the same faces every year, or is it different sometimes?
Yeah, we usually see the same teams in our league, and then occasionally we'll see teams sporadically at various invitationals.
Okay, and how do you go about getting this invitational? It's clearly only select few.
I'm not too sure about how the process goes, but we try and keep inviting the same people from last year. We reach out to like a wide variety from schools from Chicago to like up north, everywhere. So I think it just depends on if they want to come or not. I don't know.
Well, is there anything else that you guys are either looking forward to or not looking forward to?
The weather's not looking too great right now, but we're pretty used to it. As you can see, it's pretty cold, but the food's really great sometimes, so I think that's going to be pretty nice.
What kind of food?
A lot of just snack foods, occasionally wraps, sandwiches, Gatorade, fruit, all kinds of stuff.
What are you captain of? What area?
Distance, mostly. Some mid-distance as well. I ran cross-country in the fall, so that's my strong suit.
So between cross country and track, is there anything that you do in between to really keep up with your workouts?
Personally, I swim, so I can keep my cardio together, and I stay in shape in the winters that way.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's cross country, then comes swim, and now you're in track, so you're just active all the way through.
Yep. As a life student athlete, it never stops. So.
And speaking of student athlete, you're a senior, right?
Yes.
Okay, so next year is college. Are you looking forward to doing sports in the future or in college, possibly track?
I hope so. I hope I'll have the opportunity to do that. That'd be very exciting.
Now, what can you tell us about the competition?
Very, very difficult. There's going to be schools from all over Michigan. Be traveling from South Michigan, North Michigan, all over the place. There'll be 30-some teams there. And a lot of the teams that'll be there will be in our region and our regional meet. So we'll be seeing a lot of these guys later in the season as well, championship seasons. So.
And the season just began, so it's still a long way to go, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, track goes by pretty quickly because once the snow goes away, it gets moving real quickly. So I'd say about midway through right now.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and close out this track meet right here. As you can tell, the runners are still running behind me, and it's still going on. But we're going to check in a little bit later, see who won, who took it overall, and stay tuned for next time. May 9th is the next meet, and we're going to be here. That was a fun meet. It was very chilly, but a lot of great competition. I want to say it was 21 different schools from schools all across the board, some from Chicago, West Bloomfield, and others. Oxford High School did pretty well, coming in somewhere around third, I believe it was, but still more competitions up left, so don't forget to tune in to both the Oxford Community Television, Oxford News, and the Schooling Around segment, of course. But moving right along, we left Oxford High School and went over to Banbury Cross with Danielle Smith.
I'm here at Banbury Cross with Jessica, and if you could tell us, what is Banbury Cross?
Banbury Cross is a therapeutic equestrian facility, so we provide equine-assisted activities for individuals of all ages with all different abilities.
And right now you have a lot of people here setting up for your biggest fundraiser of the year, which is the Derby Day celebration. And I know we were talking earlier, and you have a lot of volunteers that come from different organizations out here to make sure this all goes off without a hitch. But you also have a lot of different volunteer opportunities here, is that right?
Correct, yeah. As a small nonprofit, we really rely on volunteerism. And our year-round weekly classes that we run 6 days a week, and those are not possible without volunteers. So we use over 80 volunteers a week, their strengths, and our volunteers will participate in classes, working with our riders, help meeting their goals, whether they are physically assisting the riders with their horses, or we also have other volunteers that prep the horses, prep the arena for classes, and lead the horses during classes. And additionally, we have behind-the-scenes helpers that may assist in acting as a hostess to our families when they come in to ride, or help with fundraisers such as this weekend coming up, or just help in the office, whether it be filing, preparing mailings, that sort of thing. So there's so much room for opportunity in no matter what your strength is of what you might be interested in doing.
Now, who are these volunteers? What's the age range?
Our youngest volunteers are 12. Our insurance does require that you have to be 12 years old to volunteer, and our oldest is, I don't know, we don't ask adults their ages really, they don't have to disclose that to us, but we do have a lot of retirees who, once they retire from work and are looking to remain active and give back to the community, those are actually our most loyal volunteers that'll come out 2-3 days a week and assist with classes. We do ask that all of our volunteers attend a brief 2-hour orientation to learn our safety procedures, what exactly we do, what's expected of them should they want to assist in classes, and we run those 4 or 5 times a year.
Now, especially for students, since school is almost over in the next month and a half or so, as long as they're 12 years old, they can look into this and volunteer and spend some time up here. And is it specifically seasonal, or is there something that they could always have their hand in?
We have a need for volunteers year-round. So we only take the month of December off, and that's because of the holidays. But year-round we need help. And the bulk of our classes run in the evenings, between 4:45, 8:30 at night. So year-round we can have students that are still helping with classes and with the program after school hours. It's really a great way for a lot of our middle school and high school students to get some of their National Honor Society service hours requirements filled, as well as other groups and committees that they may be on that require volunteer hours. We've had a few students that have used our facility and our program as projects that they've had for their senior year, their junior year in high school, service projects, and that works out wonderful.
Now, how would these students go about learning more about volunteering and signing up to do it?
We have a great Facebook page that gives a lot of videos and examples of what we do. You can contact us through our Facebook page, through our website, which is www.banburycrosstech.org, or you can call the office and just ask to speak to Charlotte, who's our volunteer coordinator, and she would get anybody set up with a date for our next orientation, and you can come on out.
Thank you, Danielle. That looked like a lot of fun. And speaking of equestrian horses and students, the Schooling Around segment is doing an exclusive interview with the equestrian team at Oxford High School coming up pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. And going to our very last story for this episode, we're going to go over to Kingsbury Country Day School. It's a lot of interesting information there. Take a look.
Hello everyone, today we are bringing Schooling Around to Kingsbury Country Day School. I'm going to go inside, get Miss Bristle, and we're going to see the chicks hatch.
So where are we walking to right now? So over on this side of our campus is our lower school. It actually has an interesting history. It was once a one-room schoolhouse back in the late 1800s. So in 1953, it opened as Kingsbury Country Day School. It is a wonderful little sanctuary for our kindergarten and first grade. So we have 2 kindergarten classrooms and 2 first grade classrooms in this building.
And all this time, I've passed through here a few times actually, and I thought this was just someone's house, maybe a ranch. I had no idea this was a school.
Yeah, quaint little, it does feel like home inside.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a Kingsbury farm.
Wow.
That's actually headed off into some of our property in the woods.
Okay.
We have a new farm with 4 chickens and 2 goats.
And that contributes to you guys being a green school.
So let's head in. This is our lower school campus, and we'll go check out the kindergarten.
Awesome. I'm excited to see these chicks.
Yes.
So now we're in here with the chicks, and I see that they're very, still fluffy looking, which means that they're still pretty new.
They just came out of their eggs this morning, so when the kindergarten students came to school today, they were just beyond thrilled. They've been watching the eggs since we got them here in the incubator and charting if they see any movement or anything like that. So it was a very magical day this morning when they came and found the chicks.
And they chart them every single day?
Yes, and so the kids actually had, we were able to put little markings on the shell, and so the kids knew, oh, my egg is number 25, and so they really felt the responsibility over that specific egg.
So now, what are going to happen to the baby chicks? Are they going to stay here, and are the kids going to take care of them, or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So with our Kingsbury farm that's located over in our wooded area, we have a pen that's designed for chicks when they're young, and so once they're able to go outside and withstand the temperatures with the proper heat lamps and everything, they're going to go and travel over to our Kingsbury farm to join our other animals, and so our kindergarten students will get to see these guys develop all the way into adulthood.
Awesome. Okay. And then I see it's some food in there. So what do the students have when feeding the chicks and the different animals in the farm too?
We trust our students at a young age to take on roles like that with great responsibility, and so they're very engaged, and as long as we teach them like proper handling with the animals, we talk about how often an animal might need food or water. We really have the kids take the ownership over the process, and they get very involved. And so actually our kindergartners have been practicing how to hold the adult chickens that we have, and so they're learning some of those things now. As they get older, we teach them how to make sure they're supported and to cup them, so if they start to flap their wings and things like that, that the chick is safe, and the kids know what to expect, so they're not startled by any movements by the animal or anything like that.
How long were these eggs being monitored, and is this something that you do every single year?
I want to say it's been at least 4 years now that we've been hatching eggs, and so when we go over by the incubator, we'll be able to see the calendar, a visual calendar for the kindergarten students to see what the chick looks like as it's developing in the egg.
Oh, that's nice. Great. Well, I guess there's nothing else but to go head over to the incubator.
Yeah.
If I'm saying that correctly.
The incubator.
Incubator.
These 2 students have journals, chick journals.
Yes.
What is the whole concept behind that?
Well, to get them writing, to make predictions, to count. We counted how many eggs. We counted eggs in each incubator, and then they made predictions. They looked at the number of the eggs. They chose one egg they were going to watch, and they predicted what kind of chicken they thought would come out of that egg. It just helps them get them integrated into writing about their experience and making predictions. And when the chicks first started hatching yesterday, they were so excited. They ran to get their journals, and they came out and sat down to write and draw what they were seeing. So it just helps them to think about it and to be observers and to be scientists.
And writers.
And writers and mathematicians and all of that. And they're very excited about their journals and love pulling those out to write with them.
So girls, what is something that you have written in your journal about the chicks?
That they hatched.
And what was your prediction about when the chicks would hatch?
Yesterday.
Did that happen? But you weren't too far off because they hatched this morning, so you were pretty close, right?
Yes.
What was your prediction?
I thought that they was going to hatch today.
Oh, good job. Well, it seems like you got it right, but you were almost right too, right? And then as far as the different types of chickens, I noticed that some of them were like brown eggs, some of them were white. What is the difference behind the different colored eggs?
Well, we get the eggs from Upland Hills. They bring them over, and they bring us a variety of chickens so the kids can see that the eggs are all different colors. Initially, they think, oh, the eggs are white or the eggs are brown. And then we have chickens on our farm here that are all different colors. So we talked about that and what kind of chicken might hatch out of the egg. And it was funny to see their predictions. Like one of the eggs, it's kind of a greenish color, and they called that the golden egg. And they were just talking about what chickens might come out of there. So it just gives them a wide variety to know that there's different varieties of chickens and that they look different. The eggs look different. They're different sizes, different colors. What song you thought we should sing when they hatched?
Hatchy birthday.
Hatchy birthday? How does that go?
Hatchy birthday to you. Hatchy birthday to you. Hatchy birthday to chickies. Hatchy birthday to you.
Wow, that's impressive. Where did you learn that song from?
I just made it up.
Congratulations, you're a future songwriter. That's great. Now, how long were the students working on the incubator?
Well, it takes 21 days for the chickens to hatch, and so we put them in 21 days ago. We've been observing and watching. And there's a calendar back there that shows kind of the development of the chick over time. We watched a little video that showed that a little bit closer. So they've been watching them for 21 days, and we did have a panicked situation because we had a windstorm, and the power, I don't know if the power flickered or something, and affected the temperature in the one where the eggs are hatching, and it got down too low. So we were very concerned that the chicks might not hatch, but they did. They just hatched one day later than what we had thought. So we're not really sure why, and we're talking about different theories with that and kind of learning together. So.
And then I was being told the differences between the two egg turners. So the one that is manual, that one seemed to hatch first, and the one that was automatic, we're still waiting on. What is the cause of that?
We're not sure. The one that had the manual turner, the one that I would turn the eggs every day, I have a thermometer in there that also shows humidity. I wasn't monitoring the humidity in the other one, and that's just as important. It's still, I added water to both of them at the same times. But
Same amount?
Same amount. But I didn't have my hands on the ones in the other one. They sit on a little tray, and you have to take them off of that after 18 days and then not touch them. So there was no interaction with them. The egg turner automatically would just move and tilt them back and forth. But I rolled the other ones around. I have no idea why one is working better than the other.
Well, that's interesting, especially since it's supposed to be a direct simulator to what a mother hen would actually do.
Exactly. We were saying this morning that it's the human touch.
All right. And now, what do you do in preparation for the class, or I guess during your lessons, to teach the students how they should handle the eggs and even chicks once they hatch?
Well, we talk a lot with our animal unit about the needs of animals and survival and how we take care of them. And so for them to be able to watch this whole process, they've learned to be kind of quiet around the eggs, to be very careful. They help to monitor that.
All right. So what is your favorite part about watching the chickens hatch?
It's about the hatching and when they're really doing cute stuff and snuggling.
And how long does it take them to hatch?
Sometimes it takes a lot of days, sometimes it takes a couple of days.
Once they hatch, what do you do to make sure that they're safe and that they're cared for?
We make sure that they eat and drink.
Now, I'm not very sure. What do baby chicks eat?
I think they eat water, worms, and corn.
And what are they doing in there?
It's just walking around and sleeping.
And I think I overheard you guys saying that it's one baby chicken there. What is he doing to the other egg to help him out?
Pecking them.
And how will that help the egg?
To get out.
Is it maybe his friend, his brother or sister in there?
Maybe it's friend or sister.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to me. Good job.
Again, I would like to give a huge thank you to Mrs. Bristol for allowing us to come. We haven't done a lot with Kingsbury Day School, but that is changing right now. Be on the lookout for their part 2 of the segment that explains what Kingsbury is. It's no longer a private school, guys, in case you didn't know, but that is coming next week, so be sure to check in with that. And that about does it for this episode of Schooling Around. Until next time, I'm Alexis Ware.